So, thank you for joining me today on day 3 of the In-Between Portal, a sacred journey to release, reclaim, and return to self. Today, the third day, is my most exciting day because it really is about what we're embodying and what we're stepping into, and what parts and what things we're letting go of, and actually moving through that transition. And when I talk about return to self, I want to talk about the concept of when babies are born, they naturally know how to breathe. They do the deep belly breathing. They're intuitive. They're connected. Yes, they might cry and scream, but they're showing their needs and they're communicating it. And as we go through life, we're getting conditioned out of all those natural abilities. And you think to nature as well. What about turtles going through the sea? They're following their intuition. How do they know where to go? How do they know what to do? They're following their intuition and their inner guidance. And what this, everything that we're talking about for return to self is letting go of all the things that we've collected throughout our life, which are inhibiting our true self being connected in that mind, body, soul, so that you can return to your most truest, most aligned version of you and move through life with more ease, with more clarity, and moving through those ebbs and flows like you meant to, and not getting stuck and pulled and tripped up and tumbled around. And, the journey isn't linear, as we know, but returning to self is all about having the awareness of where we are, what are the bits that are in the way, and then
Mhm.
what does that most aligned, most authentic version of us need for us to move forward. So that is about today. And before we jump into anything today, what I really want to do is I want us to ground into our body. So I want you to close down your eyes and take a beautiful, nice big breath in your nose, filling up that belly and breathing out. I want you to release that out. As you're doing this, I want you to breathe in again, lift those shoulders up, and then that out, making any micro adjustments for your body. Another big breath in and out. And we're going to actually just drop into your body. So I want you to keep your eyes closed and I want you to notice what you feel in your body, starting from the top of your head, noticing any soreness, tightness, stiffness, discomfort, headaches, pains, traveling down through your neck, noticing if it's tight, if it's sore. Those shoulders where you're carrying that responsibility, that burden, that load. I want you to check how they feel, tuning into those shoulders. And then moving down your body, we're going to go to that chest area, placing your hand on your chest and breathing into it. Breathing into that chest area, your sensation through there, and then coming down to that stomach area, your center for confidence, determination, and will. Tuning into your tummy. Our tummy has so many messages for us. It's our second gut, second brain in the gut. The tummy holds a lot. So feeling into that. I want you to feel any sensations that we've gone through the body so far. What is that sensation telling you? Is it whispering? Is it yelling at you? Or is it just dull aching? Or is there absolutely nothing there? Do you feel a bit disconnected from that? Everything is okay here. We want to come in with no judgment and we just want to see it for what it is. Don't need to label it. Moving your sensations down through that stomach, and we're going to go to this womb area. You might want to place a hand or two on there. This beautiful womb area, which is your center for creativity, joy, pleasure, your embodiment, your empowerment. Feeling that pelvic area, your hips, noticing what's there, and just saying hello to it. And I want you to imagine going right down to the bottom of your perineum to that root chakra. We're going to call in a grounded sensation. We're going to ground you here in your being here today. We're going to call you back to your body as you return to yourself. We're letting go of the mind and we're bringing in that connection to your body and your soul. What's been calling you? What are you being called to do? What are you being called to let go of? I really want you to tune into that and feel that in the body. If you don't know, that's okay. There's no judgment here, no comparison, no way you need to be. These are all just little prompts. And then moving through the body, I want you to notice your legs, any tightness, soreness, stiffness, discomfort, sensations, tingling, whatever it is, allowing it to be there in the body. And then moving down your legs, your feet. I want you to twinkle your toes, calling on your energy to be grounded to the earth. I want you to imagine walking on a beautiful grass, looking out to the view where there's the sun beaming on your face, that golden light grounding you to the earth, connecting you to Mama Gaia, connecting you to unconditional love. Love is how we transform through fear into love and into our heart space. So this is the place where we're going to be today. And I want you to ground yourself in this energy. And just remembering our intention. You can say it in your head or however you want. I now release and let go what doesn't serve me. And I allow myself to step into the most truest, most aligned version of self, feeling secure, feeling empowered, embodied, feeling liberated, and feeling free. And that's your return to yourself. That's what we're doing. So breathing that into your body, and then just bringing your sensations back. Maybe rubbing your hands on your legs or just creating that sensation of touch. And then when you're ready, we're going to open your eyes. What did everyone notice in their body? How do their bodies feel? Did you say tight, Amber?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, tight. Yeah. How else did anyone feel? Vanilla?
Pain.
Pain. Yeah, where was your pain in your body?
Sort of just under your ribs.
Yeah, in your diaphragm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so our diaphragm, that's where we're releasing and breathing in that energy. So I'll get you to take a breath in, Vanilla. Yeah, and then take a breath out. I'm just muscle testing while we're doing that. And it's unlocking on that out breath. So it's like when we're breathing in, we're holding on and that diaphragm is contracted. And if we're not fully letting it go, then it's a stress on us. So we want to, even if we can just place our hand there and breathe into the hand, I want you to take a breath into that diaphragm and then breathing out. That's actually a practice. I'm just going to muscle test that I want you to do. So breathing into that diaphragm, breathing in the energy, and then releasing it. Okay.
Same with
Thank
me.
you.
Same with you, Anne. Yeah. So in the diaphragm area. Yep.
Yeah.
So I want you as well to be doing that as a little daily practice. Yeah. Breathing that in and then letting it go. And really focusing on the out breath because we're good at breathing in. Well, sometimes depends if we go into our chest or our belly. Actually, the practice of doing that releases stagnant energy and a whole bunch of things.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Camilla, how does your body feel?
I have a lot of stiffness in my shoulders as well as the neck. I feel like that's Scrooge who stole the Christmas.
Yeah.
Like that.
Me as well.
Yeah. So many of us are holding,
Me too.
these patterns.
My husband keeps saying, relax your shoulders,
Relax your shoulders.
because I'm like this.
Yeah.
So
The breath I want you to focus on as well is breathing in and breathing out. So like contracting and then expanding. So and when we're like this, we're in a collapse state as well, you know, we're inward, we're moving around. So the more that we change our physical state as well, we can step into that new way of being that we want to be. So what I want to start with is what's called a time of day balance. And so this is just going to anchor us right here, right now in this time. And we're going to do that with a couple of points on the body. So I'll explain what we're doing as we're doing it. But the first point we're going to do is the small intestine, which is you're going to get one hand and you're going to place it on kind of the top of your shoulder, that shoulder with the shoulder blade. and you're just going to rub. This is called the central meridian, and your emotional point for the small intestine, which is the time we're in now in the meridian wheel. And this is connecting you to your emotions, allowing you to release anything that's not, stopping you from being present. You might be really tight there. How does that feel? Can you notice a tightness? Yeah.
It's sore. Yeah.
Yeah. So just gentle, but a beautiful way to release those emotions. And we're going to go to the other side. So directly on the top, just rubbing that point just on that top of that shoulder blade. This is called the neuro-emotional point for the small intestine. So we're just allowing that for the central meridian, which is your yin, your flow. And then we're going to go to this point here in the middle of where your collarbone is, just rubbing that. This is what's called, well, that was the small intestine, sorry. This is the central meridian. This is actually your yin one. And these 2 points we're going to do now, you can use these all the time. If you're noticing you're overly emotional, just rubbing in here. This is going to balance your emotions. It's going to allow you to be in your feminine energy. It's going to allow you to see clearer. And the governing, because we always do things on 2 sides, which is just at the back of the head. You know where that your skull meets your neck? And there's that little groove right there with 2 fingers. Just rubbing there. So that's actually, this is your governing. So this is obviously when we're in that masculine energy and we're getting things done, this gets overworked. So this is like, oh, you can imagine it like a little valve that's going to release. So rubbing that might be tight as well. And then we're going to do the neurovasculars, which most of you will know these from me. You're going to, you're going to go like this and place your hand on your top of your head and the hand on the forehead. And just, this is all about soothing and calming. So taking a nice big breath in, breathing it out, letting go of all the things that you've been carrying to get here today, to be where you are Friday, the end of the week. This is your next hour so you can land in your body, so that you can return to yourself, so that you can feel secure, embodied, liberated, and free within yourself. So this is soothing your body. Notice the energy returning to you. You might notice a pulse underneath your hand. These are beautiful soothing and calming points. Again, for the central and governing meridians, because we always start with those. And then we're going to move to the governing meridian, which you'll notice this point is like this. You'll notice that when you get a shock, you go, oh, it's because your body's naturally soothing itself. So this is the governing meridian. Neurovascular is all about soothing and calming. So breathing in, noticing your energy, your sensations coming back to you, releasing that external focus, and I want you to bring it right back to you. Giving your body this time for this sacred pause. Time to rest and digest everything that you've assimilated. Then we're going to trace the central meridian, which is right at the top of your pubic bone, and we're going to go up to the chin. We're going to go down and then up. We're just going to flush it up, which means we're giving the energy. We're saying, hey, central meridian, come online. One more. The next one we're going to do the governing. So I want you like right where your tailbone is to trace up the middle of your back. You're not going to be able to get the whole way, but at some point you're going to go up and then you'll swap and kind of carry through over the top of the head and down to the nose. It doesn't matter if you don't get it perfect. You're going to go where you can up the back and then carry on. We're going to do one more of those. This is releasing that governing meridian. It's the middle of the back, across the top of the head, right to the middle of the nose. One more, actually. And now we're going to move into the time of day, which is the small intestine. And this one's probably good why it's come up for you guys. So look at my big knot there. Love that. So ribs, I want you to rub like this on the ribs. Just rubbing at the bottom of the ribs on that small intestine. This is your neurolymphatics for that. So we're releasing the lymphatic system, getting the energy flowing, going all the way to the side of the ribs and then back. You might notice a rush of energy. And then we're going to go to the same point on the top of our shoulder blade again and rub that. The neuroemotionals.
Tears are joy.
And then going to the other side on top of that shoulder blade, rubbing. And then for this one, we're going to do the relaxing point, which is just cupping the side of the head, kind of side and back. This again is that neurovascular, is a really soothing one. Just noticing how your energy feels, if you notice a difference from the start. This one's bringing you back to you. Literally anchoring you in the time of the meridian wheel, which is right here, right now. And the last thing we're going to do is trace this meridian for this time of day, which is from your pinky. You're going to go down the side of your arm, down kind of to the top of the shoulder. Follow it along to the nose. So from the finger down through the side of the arm, around the shoulder, to the top of the nose. Once more on that side. And then we're going to go to the other side, same again, from the pinky, all along here, across the top of the shoulder, into the nose. 2 more times. Last time. How does that feel for everyone? That's your time of day balance. What are you noticing about your energy and how does it feel from when we first started?
Yeah, I feel different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sort of brightened up. Yeah.
It's bringing you into the present moment. It's exactly what it's doing. Yeah, returning you to self. Anyone else notice any differences?
Not feeling as scattered, definitely
Oh.
more focused.
Yeah. And actually, I feel more tuned in with myself. Yeah, awesome. The last thing I want to do is actually just tapping these points, your K27s. Rubbing and tapping, just grounding you in the moment, right here, right now. Centering you in the present moment. Cool. So what we will start off with today is just a little recap of the 2 days. And I want you to we're just going to write for like 2 or 3 minutes. There's a couple of little questions that I want you to think about. And Camilla, I don't know if did you watch day 1? Have you watched any of the other ones or shall I just?
I was
Oh, you were here for day 1.
on
Yes, you were.
I was here for day 1. I almost finished watching the day 2. I
Perfect.
just finished the journaling.
Perfect.
So it
That's
was
amazing. Yeah, no stress. That's perfect, Camilla. So what we're going to do is I want you to just write down, where are you in your journey? Where are you? Are you sitting in between? Are you sitting in an ebb? Were you feeling contracted? Or are you in a flow state? Have you moved into a flow state? I want you to just think about where you are and just write down where you are. And when you know where you are, I want you to just think about what you actually need in this space that you're in. Is it a sacred pause? Is it time? Is it connection? Yeah, so you're in between, but it's kicking me to the painful flow phase. Yeah. So what does that feel like when it's kicking you into that painful flow phase? Does it feel like you're getting pushed into it? Is that what you mean?
First of all, I feel resistance going into that because I'm used to be in between, as
Yeah.
well as I'm no longer able to be in between. It's also painful to be there as I no longer can survive. Like I'm in survival mode. I can't cope anymore like that.
Yeah.
And because it involves my relationship and my daughter, it's
Yeah.
painful that I don't know what will be in the future. So it's
Yeah.
what you've talked about, that it's I don't see it.
Yeah. So it's
And
uncertain.
with
Yeah.
uncertainty, yes. And
Yeah.
we human beings are so used to know what happened next and we need to plan.
Yeah.
So that's painful too.
Yeah.
And it's
And
quite quickly happening. So it's just like
that reminds me of
awesome.
what we were actually at right now. So I want to read to you energetically, which is perfect for what you're explaining is this letting go and moving in, which is really painful, and sending you lots of love as you navigate through this, because we're in like the biggest eclipse season where there's so much going on. And there's actually a new moon. I don't know if it's tonight or tomorrow, but it's all about communicating our needs and letting go of old ways of being, which happen in relationships. I'm going through this too, exactly the same. And it's like, what are we calling in? And the new moon tomorrow. Yeah. So the new moon solar eclipse in Aries is a divine initiation by fire. After the chaotic waves of the last few months, we rise to be met with the energy of the warrior, unbound and unyielding, a time to move with intention over impulse. Solar eclipses are a cosmic reset, amplifying intention and a powerful tool for reflection. So feel into what has held you back and take each intuitive message with grace. This is your reminder to take back control, hold the flame of your destiny close, move with unwavering trust in self and permission to let what is not aligned burn away. And I can, when you think about that, Camilla, what are you needing in this time? Like, what do you need through this time? What do you need as yourself, your own self? What do you need?
I need to let go of the beliefs that I'm not able to do that. That
Mm,
so I need to know that I'm not alone. Like
mm,
it's probably collectively that I haven't been alone in this, as well as for the meditation which you guides us,
mm,
the connection to Gaia Earth. Like I need
mm,
some unconditional love, but not posing it on any people around me, of course. So I need that support as well as believe in myself and
mm.
go.
Yeah. So you've got amazing clarity through this, don't you? Like you know what you need. So I want you to all write down what you need in this time. What is it that you need? And that's what your intuition is guiding you to. And if anyone feels stuck with what they need, just let me know as well, and I can give you some tips or some questions. When we can actually say what we need, we can connect to that self and give it to ourselves as well. If we ignore our needs, we end up being reactive and angry and we get resentful. So I think for anger, there's 19 unmet needs that haven't been communicated. So when we can actually understand what we need and communicate that or give that to ourselves, then we can move through that with more ease. And so I want the next question. Yes, I'll just read some of the points. Amber, I feel like I'm coming through toward the end of a liminal phase the past months. Lots of external things are coming to culmination. I feel stronger and more clarity of where I go. Yes, and where I am and where I want to go. The timing is extraordinary. So from yesterday, we've got where we are, we've got what we need, and I want you to think about where are you reclaiming that power and that radical responsibility. Write down 1, 2, or 3 things that you're going to do to reclaim your power and take radical responsibility for your life. Where are you being called to show up and to move into this new version? Doesn't have to be big, can be small. What small steps can you take? They often talk about that 2% of change can make the biggest difference. And it's like a little snowball effect.
Mhm.
Yeah, when you take one little action, you take the next action, the next one feels easier. Where we get stuck is that we try and do 20 things at once. It's too hard. So I want you to think of 1 or 2 or 3. Doesn't have to be 3, but if you feel on a roll, get it out. Book your flights. Let's have a look at that. Yes. Book your flights to Wellington, going with your daughter. That's amazing. Yay. So you're doing something for you. And it is all these little actions that you're taking courage to take aligned action for what you want. And in that action, you're taking back that power. And you're giving it to yourself, which makes you grow from your own personal power. And when everyone's written down what they're taking back and their radical responsibility, just let me know or put your hand up when you're finished, or actually just, yeah, cool. Cool. Oh, did you want to share? Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, go for it.
No, I just got shot for myself. Be intentional with my day, be aware of my self-talk, and stop planning and start doing.
Oh, so you're moving into action.
Mm.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel as though I feel good. Yeah.
Oh, you feel the energy
Rather-
of that action wanting to come through.
Rather than on the wheel, on the mouse wheel.
Yeah.
I think I'm sort of whoa off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, sort of just a new
Awesome.
perspective.
Cool.
Mm.
I'll just turn down that music. Cool. So we've got kind of where we are in our journey. Does anyone else want to share? Or does anyone feel like they want to share or claim anything? Being unapologetic about what I ask. Oh, just open that up. Yes. Valuing yourself and asking for what I am worth. Yes. Moving towards the little nuggets that are drawing me towards what else I can do. Yes. And those little nuggets are how we get more connected and more guided and more in tune with our intuition, when we let go of the noise and we actually follow those little nudges. And you'll start to notice that when you start following them, more of them show up everywhere. Like I've been seeing, they talk about the 333-222. Since I've been doing this work energetically, I see that almost every hour. Like, whoa. And then when you see that, you start seeing other things. You see little words that keep popping up and your mind just expands.
Mm.
That's so cool. So what we're going to do now is we will move into some slides, and I'm just going to talk about when we're going through, we haven't talked about what we want to step into yet, because I want to we've got where we are, what we're wanting to let go of, and what we need in this time. Actually, is there anything else around what you're letting go of that needs to be written down? What are you letting go of? What are you releasing that is no longer serving you? That is one question. What is it? Is it people pleasing? Is it, vanilla? Yeah.
Yeah.
Putting
And being influenced by other people.
Yep. So external validation and being told what to do instead of calling it within. Awesome.
Yeah.
And every time you take that aligned action for that, you'll get that back. That personal power internally will start growing and growing and growing. So I want you to think about, what you're letting go of. What is that old identity? How does she operate? So you can just write a couple of things. It might be 1, might be 2, could be 3 if you feel like on a roll. And so this is kind of the basis of this returning to self. It's looking at these areas. Where are you? Having the awareness. What are you needing in this time? Where can you get back that power? And then what can you let go of? And then the next one is what we're stepping into, but we'll go through a little process with some slides. So I'll just wait for the others to finish writing. No rush. Mhm. Cool. Awesome. So what we're going to do is I'm going to share some slides. And do I need to share the sound from there? No. I'll go here, there. Oh, why is that doing that? Hang on, stop share. Just gonna, my canvas just decided to reset itself. The web page failed to load. Here we go. Let me just open up Canva again, guys. Retrograde. I love you, universe. Work for me, baby. Might have to try Google Chrome. I'll just try another browser. Okay, that logged in perfectly. Great. Okay, we're good to go. Safari is not my friend today, but Google Chrome is. My slides there, yay. Okay, there we go. Thanks for your patience, my loves. Okay, let's get sharing. Share. Okay, so we are day 3 of the return to self, the sacred journey, and the in-between portal. And so we've gone through awareness of where we are, what we need, where we're taking back our power and making radical responsibility, and what are we letting go of. And we're just going to talk through a couple of concepts today. And so one of the concepts is obviously surrendering the control to experience the transformation. And when we're talking about that, we are talking about that resistance or that forcing, that kind of pushing versus resisting. So one thing I want you to think about is, where am I resisting and where am I pushing? How does that feel in regards to an energy? Where can I let go of that control? And what are you leaving behind and what are you stepping into? And essentially, this is what we're going to look at today is, what are the things that aren't serving you anymore? What are the things that are restricting you? What are the things that are limiting you? Those ways of being, those negative connotations in the mind, that self-doubt, that fear. What are those things that we're being called to let go of? And then what are we actually stepping into? And when we look at the journey, and I drew this, I actually don't know if you can see, but I had this massive, probably can't even see it. One day I sat down and I was like, I need to understand where I'm at and I need to see it visually. And I drew this diagram. And so what this shows, obviously I'm not a designer, but it shows that in the middle, we've got this true self, this truest, most aligned version of you, that she feels content, she feels powerful, she feels connected, she feels in charge of her life, she feels like she's co-creating of life. And then what we've got below that is actually your inner child and your inner self. And when we're on this journey, we need to connect into our true self, but actually go to this inner self. And then this little girl, this little person inside of you, she feels so much and she's been feeling her whole life. And she's blocked and protected and put things away and decided to behave in certain ways, or she's been neglected and she hasn't been seen or heard or understood for what she is. And so it's when we can connect into our true self, connect into that inner self, like reparent her where she was missing that connection. When I think about my journey when I was younger, I had beautiful parents, loving parents. My mum was very driven, very had to be doing lots of things, very productive, like, you know, the good girl. There was a lot of that kind of drive. But on an emotional sense, it wasn't okay to feel my emotions. So I kind of skipped the emotional, understanding my emotions. So what happens in life is when we skip a phase, whether it's getting to know our body and how our body works, or whether it's staying with our emotions and figuring out our emotions internally and then figuring out how we connect with others, or if it's like how we think in the world and how we process things through our brain. If we skip a section, at life we'll constantly revisit that part because it needs to be reworked and it wants to be healed. And so ways that this can show up for you is, yeah, the limiting beliefs and stories that are in the way, conditioning of how you were brought up in the world, what you were told every day. So much, as you know, 0 to 7 is like a sponge. The trauma that you went through, big T, little t trauma, how that affected you. Are you in protective mode? Is your body protecting you because it doesn't want to feel those things that it felt? What parts of you need to be seen and heard? How's your nervous system? Does it feel stable? Does it feel rocky? And when we reparent those areas of yourself that you weren't guided, we can meet this inner child, this little girl who just wants to be seen, heard, and understood. And we can take that power back. So once we connect in, meet these parts of us and all these things that she's been through, then we can actually come up to that higher self and go through this to get those intuitive downloads, get those connections, connect into our soul, follow our purpose. But there is this journey that we go through. And it's not all the same. It can be different for everyone. It feels that you might look at this and go, oh my God, there's so much to do. It doesn't mean you have to do all of this. These are the things that can show up. And we have to, when we think about where am I needing that support, it's like, do you feel safe within? Or does it feel uncomfortable and not safe in your body? I felt unsafe in my body for a very long time, probably till I was literally, what am I now? Nearly 40, probably 38. It wasn't until the last year and a half that I've got that safety within. Or does it feel safe to receive? So I did a breathwork last night with the lady that I'm training with, or she's coaching me. And I realized that it wasn't safe for me to receive. I had to give something back straight away. And even I was, Vanilla, when we emailed yesterday and I delivered you back a compliment straight away, I was like, oh, take time to receive that, but I didn't really receive it. And it's like, are you okay with receiving compliments? Are you okay with people saying nice things to you? Or do you deliver it back straight away because it's polite, because it's the right thing to do, because you shouldn't, just receive? Well, you can receive. And when we can connect into the inner child and see how she felt, what she's carrying, what she actually needs, we can get that connection from her to all the way up to our higher self. So it's thinking about what are the younger parts that need to be seen? What has she been carrying, this little part of me? I certainly know that my inner child started screaming at me like a toddler. And then under that, what are the lower vibrational energies that need to be felt so we can move through this journey, so we can actually move up through the journey? And so I thought that was an interesting concept just around, going to the inner child, connecting with her, which actually leads you all the way up. It's like coming in to return to self to then go right up to the higher self. And when we're doing this, I wanted to explain this concept of what happens. So we have this awareness of what we're letting go of and what we're wanting to move away from and what we're stepping into. And we go through this metamorphosis, which is actually a physical and mental and emotional process that you go through. It's like a butterfly, and I think I explained that on day one, where you're in the cocoon. You can see all the cracks and all the places that you feel stuck, and you can see everything about you, and it is so uncomfortable. But eventually you're going to come out of your cocoon and spread your wings and fly. And the worm, we go through wormholes. So what happens is when we are embedding a new identity or way of being, when we talked about all those parts of ourselves, they'll come up and yell and scream and be like, don't do it, it's scary, no, we want to pull you back. And you'll be feeling like you're squeezing through this wormhole, and then you'll come to the other side and you can actually pop up and come down through the wormholes. Hence why it's so important as you're doing this sort of work to have support, to know where you are, to understand what you're moving through. And so with that metamorphosis process, it is again, we have to go into those uncomfortable, uncertain places to see the patterns and see the things that don't work, so then we can move into that new way of being. And this is actually the perfect time to show you my, can you see that? My headphones that are all tied together. So this is this concept which I loved. One day I was sitting on the steps in our old house in Auckland, and I had my daughter was flying one of those things, a kite, and you know the cotton gets all tied up and it's all messy. And so when I first got it, I was like, F this, I'm not undoing this. Don't have time for that. Nah, nah, nah. And then I was going through quite a transformation. Then I said, oh, you know what? I'm actually going to sit down and try and do this. And what I discovered is when I was doing it, when I actually came in with patience and I paused and I relaxed and I did one bit and I let it go and I did another bit and I let it go and then I stopped and then I looked, what I realized that when we're going through the healing journey and when we're returning to that true self and the inner child, we're actually going through a process like this. We're going through, where in life have we been tangled up? And when you're going through this, you actually go back the way it came. So you make a little, you move it, you move through, you say, ah, that thread goes through there. And you have to be gentle. You have to have compassion. You have to take it slowly. And it's like an unwinding. And so that's what I kind of compared this healing journey that you go through. It's like you're all tied up and you want to see what are the bits or where are the areas that I'm tangled? What are these areas? And actually, I'm going to bring in some real gentleness as I do this. I'm going to sit down for half an hour today and give this a go. And this concept I've used for everything now. So up until probably 2 years ago, I never attempted to undo a necklace that was stuck or anything like this because I'd had no time. And now I use it as a little opportunity to be like, I'm going to friggin' do this. And I sit there and I take the time to do it. I pause, I reset, and then I can get it undone. And now I can actually get the knots undone. So I just wanted to share that concept with you because I know that it can feel like you're always knotted, but you're not. It's just about going through where that bit came from, and putting it through and then stopping and reassessing. Not pushing too quick because what happens when you pull? The knot gets worse. Yeah. So if you take it slowly and notice, oh, that bit goes through there, you can do it. And you can put it down as well. You don't have to do it every day. But it's like, where do we need to go back to? And where do we need to pause and reset? And during that process, that's what we need: surrender, acceptance, and trust while we're in it. And we have to reparent ourselves as we go through it as well. So one of the most important concepts as we're going through any of this change, any of this kind of in between from liminal to luminal, so you can co-create in life and be aligned, is creating white space for you as you go through it. So whether it's connection with friends or loved ones, whether it's the sacred pause, taking micro breaks during the day. I know as when you're a mum and you're busy or you've got working or anything, you don't take those breaks, but where can you break? Where can you look at your sleep routine to calm your body? Where can you have some solitude? Bring in some deep belly breathing where you've got your hand on your diaphragm or popping your legs up the wall before sleep. You don't have to do all of these, but you can pick one or two. I use my frequency device, so I run programs. Camilla's got one of these as well for gentle nervous system relaxation, grounding, energy. There's like 200 programs. I use this a lot as my creating my space. Or it could be a guided relaxation, feet on the ground, using your red light if you have one, or simply getting outside in nature. So I want you to think of where can you create white space in your life? Where is your life being called for that space? And I want you to write that down. Because without the space, we don't have the capacity. If we're driving our car around for 14 hours a day, we need to stop it and it needs to have a chance to cool down. And that's what we need to do as people. We need to create white space. We need to create capacity within. And obviously
How do
creating
you-
white, yeah, go. What
Oh,
was that?
sorry. How do you how do you define sacred pause?
Ah, yes. So the sacred pause is where we allow ourselves to stop. So it could be, Camilla, for you, say you've got your daughter's, is it Wednesdays you have to yourself, or is it, say, on the, the days when she's in daycare or she's in kindy or the
Yeah.
place that she goes?
Yeah.
The perfect example is, you've got one day like, oh my God, I'm going to do all the 10 things. Your sacred pause could be, I'm not doing any of that. I'm going to go back to bed and have a nap. Or I'm going to go and do whatever you want to do. Stopping and pausing. Pausing from the expectation, the noise, the pressure, all of that. So allowing yourself to actually pause from the pressures of life. Does that kind of help?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, noting down what you're going to do to create this white space. And obviously in there, it's like working with someone, like working with a practitioner, using kinesiology, using other people that you use to bring you calm, to connect your body. That creates white space and capacity because it's releasing stress and balancing your body's emotions. So these are just some little ideas, but yeah, I want you to think about where you want to create that white space and what you're bringing into your life. And so this process of returning to self is like having awareness of the ways that you're being, the stories and the limiting beliefs that are running your show, healing those wounds with that deep work. You've got the weeding and the gardening, which is that concept I talk about when we do the daily things to create some capacity, and then we do the deep work as well, and we're doing those together. And through that, we're healing any sticky bits that are stopping us from connecting to our true self. We integrate this new way of being and beliefs that we're wanting to embody. We feel them. We know what we're stepping into. And we take aligned action every day with courage to move into that way of being. And so when you're doing this process of returning to yourself, obviously you're letting go of what doesn't serve you and what you're moving into. It requires you to stick at it and have like a daily non-negotiables for what you're going to do. So whether it's 5 minutes of breath or a little walk every day, whatever it is, it's committing to something that's going to give you that space and capacity to process and to be and to remind yourself what you're moving into. So when you're working with this process, obviously there's different layers and you can spend different amounts of time in each area. But it's like picking out all those parts of you and you're moving into self-leadership and you're moving into that new way of being. And then they start to listen and they come on board and you can implement it in your everyday life. And so love is the driving force of transformation. So it's where are we not coming from love? Where are we coming from fear? Where are we stuck in those stories? Where can you move into your heart space? Even by holding your hand on your heart and just breathing into your heart. What is my heart calling for? What does it feel like in there? Does it feel numb? Does it feel connected? What is your heart calling for? And so now we're going to talk about, it's now your time to rise. And what are you going to embody? So I'm going to stop sharing and we're going to actually do this little process together. And it's a kinesiology process. So it's realizing what the way that you have been responding to life and how has that restricted you? What does it feel like? So I want you to think about the way you've been operating in life to date. Did it feel like a collapse state? Does it feel like a slump state? Does it feel like you're really rigid and does it feel dense and heavy? What does it feel like? What's this old way of being? And we want to get a really good picture of that. So I want you to think about what it feels like. Does it feel, rigid, collapsed? Is it, slumped? Or does it feel really dense, like you can't move or make a change? Frozen? What does it feel like in the body? How do you stand when you're in that state? Are you hiding? Are you kind of, what are you doing? And how is that way of being What are some of the things that she's thinking or feeling? Is it self-doubt? Is it worry? What are these ways of being that aren't serving you anymore? Some of the ways that you wrote down earlier today when we started. I want to get a picture of this whole identity. How does she respond to others? What are the things that she's been feeling? Stressed, overwhelmed? The emotion that came up yesterday was burdened. So what's that? What is she carrying? Is it the weight of the world? Yeah. There's a lot that we're carrying in the world, not just as humans, but as women. And yeah. So a lot of what I've been working through as well is releasing that burden and that responsibility. And when I traced my burden and responsibility back, it came from generational, not from my grandmother, her mother's mother. So it went back, what's that, 4 generations? And when I dipped into that and found out what it was, she was a mother of 7 and her husband died and she was on the farm with 7 kids. And so she carried this burden of having to do all these things, not feeling good enough her whole life. And it went down all the generations. And guess who it landed on to alchemize? Hey, it was so uncomfortable. And I remember the date when it shifted as well. I'd been doing quite a lot of work on it. It wasn't like one day, but it was in September 2023. I'd been using the Healy and every day it came up with burden, 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 burden. And then one day it had shifted and I was like, holy shit, it has shifted. And once we can create the connection of the symptom, figure out where it comes from, and then we can dissipate it. And it doesn't have to be complicated as well, but when we do the work to get to that place, we can release it. So I want you to, tune into this old identity. How does she think and feel? What does she stand like? How does she interact with other people? Has everyone got a kind of clarity around that? Yep. And then look at how that's limited you in life. So by being in this way of being, this way of responding, how has that stopped you or how has that limited you? What has that done? Has it kept you stuck in, a lower vibrational state? Has it kept you feeling small, like you don't want to be seen? Has it kept you from making decisions for yourself? Yeah. I feel so many things. Yeah. I can't into 1 or 2 words. Yes, absolutely okay. And do you, if you want help with anything, Camilla, just tell me as well. Like, are you feeling all the emotions, all the feelings in the body? Is that what you're doing?
Yes, I'm quite overwhelmed, and it feels that I will be better off. Like at least my old self tells me if I would know 1 or 2, or if I concentrate on 1 or 2 things, I'll get the result.
It's a logical mind coming in, isn't it?
Mm,
So then I want you, the 1 or 2 things that you're feeling is overwhelmed. Yeah. Yeah.
mm-hmm,
Yeah. So then you're letting go of the overwhelm.
mm. Exactly. I can concentrate on that.
Yeah. And so what I want to do now is we're looking at the ways of being that don't serve us and this identity and how that served us to date. But what we want to do is, I'll read Amber's, pushing around, exhaustion, too much responsibility, taking focus away from where I want to put my energy and into space and lightness and reflection. So what I want you to do now is I want you to close down your eyes and drop into your body. And I want you to really take your sensations right down through your head, through your nose, through your throat, down to your heart space, connecting into your heart space, coming down through your tummy, your stomach, going right down through your womb and right down into your root chakra. And we're connecting into this new version of us, this embodied version. What does she want to feel? I want you to think about what you want to feel, the way you want to be, the way you want to be seen in the world. What is that? What does it feel like? What does it look like? How does she respond to people? How does she advocate for herself? What courageous action is she taking? What is this new way of being you're being called to step into? How is it showing up? Could be in relationships, work, friends, family. I want you to imagine this new way of being and how she stands. Is she standing tall with her hands on her hips? I want you to actually stand with your hands on your hips, or not stand, but sit. Put your hands on your hips. And what are you embodying as this new way of being? Feel into how that feels. Have an example of how you'd respond to something. Could be someone at work saying something to you and you go, no, thank you so much for that, but I'm going to follow the way that I want to do it. It really feels right to me. What is that? What is she embodying as she steps forward? How does she feel in her body? What are the feelings, the emotions, the thing that she's embodying? Does she feel empowered? Does she feel strong? And I want you to think about that and write that down. Feeling that in every cell of your body. What are you bringing forward? How does she think in the world? How does she feel? How does she respond to life? How does she act? What's important to her? I want you to create a vision of what she looks like. Then I'm just going to do the switches for everyone. Yeah, so Kamala, I want to feel grounded. Oh, where did it go? There it is there. You want to feel grounded in your body, feel to the core, aligned with your true self, confident, no outside noise. Yeah. So you're wanting to come from out here and into here. Yeah. So I want to, while you're thinking of that new way of being, tapping on these K27s or rubbing them, feeling that groundedness in your body, feeling your intuition, feeling aligned to your true self, confident, releasing the outside noise. I want you to really feel into your vibration of this frequency of this new way of being that you are bringing to the world. You are taking radical responsibility for. Breathing into that. And I want you to state that. So Camilla's stated how she wants to feel. She wants to feel grounded in her body, feeling to the core, aligned to her true self, confident, no outside noise. What are the other things that people are wanting to bring in as this new way of being? Go in. Yep.
Yeah, I've just got capable, feeling power, decisive, responds to situations rather than reacting, moving
Yeah.
forward and motivated.
Cool. And how does that feel as you tune into that way of being? What is it? What do you notice in your body and your energy?
Yeah, well, I sort of feel I can actually do it.
Yeah.
It's
So you're
just,
noticing the personal power coming up.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
And so when we're tuning into a new vibration, new identity, we need to embody this every day.
Mm.
Okay. So we're going to create, I want you to create from today, daily non-negotiables. So it could be 1, 2, or 3 things you're going to do for yourself.
Okay.
So something always to ground your body, whether it's going for a walk or doing some breath or having your feet on the ground. And then I want you to come up with 3 empowering beliefs of this new identity. So what do you believe about yourself? What is the way of being? What do you need to embody? And then repeating those every single day because it's saturation of the mind. We're moving from an old identity to a new identity. Yeah, so Amber, you want to soften but be firm. Yeah. Stating your truth with kindness but remaining protected, living in a way that allows my intuition to be stronger, focusing on my own journey, not being responsible for others or their responses. That's amazing. And when you feel into that, do you notice the shift in your body? Like, what does it do? Yeah, it shifts your energy. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a thing with me where I don't want to hurt people's feelings, or I don't want to be like, I don't want to upset people or
Yeah.
be not liked. I think that's a huge one for me,
Yes.
is
Be
like
not like other
I
people.
want people to like me. I don't like it when people don't like me. It's incredibly uncomfortable.
Yes.
But rising above that, that's their thing.
Yeah.
It's not mine.
Yes. And when they don't like you, what does that mean to you though? What's the meaning or the thing that is it like, I'm a bad person, I'm not enough, I didn't do it right? What
I
is it?
feel like, because I know that I'm a good person.
Yeah.
So when people don't like me, I'm like, why wouldn't you?
What is it?
Yeah, what is it? Like, why
Yeah.
wouldn't you? I'm a nice
I don't
person.
understand. Yeah.
I want the best for everybody. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's when I have to go, well, that's their thing. That's
Yep.
not I have nothing to do with that.
Yep.
That's their own
Yep.
projection.
Yep. And then as well, like, are you allowing yourself to fully step in your power?
I am
Yeah.
now.
Cool. So standing in that internal power,
Yeah,
standing tall
definitely.
in that. Yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful. That's awesome. And Vanilla, did you want to share any of yours, or Camilla? Hmm.
Yeah, mine was a bit of both, everybody else's, but like giving the kindness and being there for someone, but not taking on their burden.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
So not
I have
taking
a friend
their.
that's going through a separation,
Mhm.
but I kind of wear it on my shoulders as well.
Yeah, yeah,
So still, giving her the support and caring and everything,
yeah.
but knowing that it's not my,
Not yours to take on.
no,
And that's moving out of, the drama triangle we did on day 2.
yes,
That's moving out of the caretaker role and then being like, I still want to be the guide and I still want to help
yeah,
people, but not at the expense of my own needs. And every
yes,
time you choose to do that, you'll build your personal power.
yeah.
Cool. And what feels like, and is there anything that feels like the thing in the way for you to that? Is there anything that feels like it's sticky? Like how Amber mentioned about what people think of her.
Yeah, that's me. I always worry about what people think of me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's a common theme throughout all of us.
yeah,
Letting go of the judgment, feeling judged and feeling like
yeah.
a bad person or not feeling worthy.
Or do I feel, have I said something that's, dumb or,
Have I upset someone?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. And so when we notice that come up, we want to give that part of us, not like, oh, get out of here. Don't do that. It's like, oh, you are upset. You think
yeah,
you've done something wrong. You haven't. And even if you
yeah,
did, it wasn't on purpose.
yeah. And it's the guilt comes in then too.
Yeah. And when we
Yeah,
feel the guilt, we have to feel it to heal it. So by
okay.
allowing us to, the practice of the ESR technique. So say something happens that maybe it's
Yeah,
at work, you put your hand on your head, you feel it, it'll release it from the body, which gets you out of the lower vibrational and moves you up again.
okay. Thank you.
So whenever we notice the lower vibrational energies come up as we're doing the work, stepping into our new identity, we have to feel it
Mhm.
and then we can move through it. And just reading Camilla's one. So I believe receiving unconditional love from Mama Earth. Yes. In tune with your inner self and speaking kind to yourself. Yeah, beautiful. And so with that, connecting into Mama Gaia, even doing that little practice where you bring in the white light, and I'll have some practices I can send as well, but you tune it through your body, go through your feet and just connect right in. And then you can like connect into her like diamond crystalline core, and bringing in that unconditional love is your little practice for you could do that as your non-negotiable. So I want you to think of 3 things that you're going to do for yourself that's going to give yourself capacity and white space, give you a sacred pause throughout the day, and it's going to move you into this new way of being. What's 3 things you can do for yourself? It doesn't have to be a lot. So it could just be having your first hot drink, looking outside or looking at the sunrise, or going for a little walk each day. Or it could be reading 5 pages of a really fun book that you don't have to learn anything. And when we're embedding a new identity, you want to have empowering beliefs. So we know what our limiting beliefs are. but we need to have the empowering beliefs. So I want you to start thinking of two or three little beliefs that you can focus on. And so if we look at, Amber's one, I soften, but I'm firm. I stand in my truth with kindness and I am protected. That could be one belief. I live in a way that allows my intuition to go stronger and stronger every day. With the third one, I focus on my own journey and I'm not responsible for others. I'm only taking responsibility for myself. And when you repeat these beliefs every day, what you do is you saturate your conscious, unconscious, and subconscious, and you actually say, we're moving into this new way of being. We're moving out of this liminal space and we're moving into this new space. But it's not until we have this new identity that we've looked at today, we need to have those beliefs to anchor that in as well. So for your homework, I want you to think of 3 empowering beliefs for this new identity. And what I want you to do with that is I want you to just take some time and journal, watch this new identity and what she might feel. And then when you've got them, I want you to email them to me or send them to me in a message or however you want to do it. And we'll go back and forth until we get them. Because sometimes you might start and they don't feel, we want them to feel really empowering. We want them to feel like, yes, when you repeat them, you're like, woo. And so my ones that I've got right now, I've got quite a few. I've probably got too many. I trust myself. I believe in myself. I know what I'm doing is right because I have had the belief of I'm doing it wrong. So I belt that out a couple of times a day. If I notice I'm in doubt, I do that. And then I accept myself. I love myself. I respect all parts of me because I had a thing with self-acceptance. And the other one that's important is I feel safe to express myself. I feel safe to be me. I feel safe to be seen in the world. And so what I do is I use these every day and I'm reprogramming that subconscious. Even when I don't feel like it, I keep doing it. And what you're doing is you're moving the needle to that new identity. And if you do this every day, in about 6 weeks, you will start to go through like a metamorphosis or a wormhole where you might feel all these parts of you kind of coming up, all these old parts, and they need to be seen and heard and reparented and then taken on that journey. And so keep going with it. Just do some daily non-negotiables. Your daily non-negotiables could take you 5 minutes. It doesn't have to be a lot, but you just commit to 2 or 3 things that you're going to do for yourself every single day. How does that feel as like a focus for you? Yeah?
Good.
Yeah. Cool.
I have to think about it
Yeah.
to get the right thing.
Yeah. And so if you can't get the right thing, then write your limiting. This is what so if you find
I needed time to process.
yeah, absolutely. So what I want you to do is when you get stuck or you feel like you're being blocked or you feel like you're feeling restricted in your mind, grab a piece of paper and do a T ledger. So stripe down the bottle like a T.
Yep.
And on the left side, you write all the stories and limiting beliefs of what you're in right now. I don't know. I can never make the right choice. I am not enough. I'm lazy. I'm like, what are some of mine? I'm messy. Write them all down. And then you'll get an inkling of like some themes in there. And then on the right side, you can look at that and go, if I wasn't feeling that, what's something empowering I want to feel? And that's how I want you to create those empowering beliefs.
Okay.
Write down all the stuff on the left side of all the limiting beliefs and stories. And then on the right side, once you've done that, then pick 2 or 3 empowering ones. So that's the homework, okay? Once you've got the empowering ones, I want you to send them to me. And then we can go back and forth. I'll do some muscle testing to make sure that they're fully aligned with you. And that if we need to jazz them up in any way.
Okay.
And then that's what you guys would do as your non-negotiables going forward, okay? Cool. Okay. Oh, yeah. Sorry, we've gone over a little bit over time, but it's all worth it. Cool. So what we're going to do is I'll just talk you through what I have been working on, and this kind of came through when we moved from Queenstown and when I went through the liminal space and I realized, holy moly, like this is huge, this in between thing. And it actually is all about returning to yourself. And the concept of return to self, funnily enough, came through like a year or two ago, but I sat on it for too long because I didn't know what I was stepping into. And what I am going to be bringing out, so usually I work one-to-one with people in sessions, but I'm actually going to be bringing out a 4-month program, which is called the Return to Self. And so I wanted to share a little bit about it with you guys, just because I wanted to give it as a early bird VIP offer to the people that came along to this, and you'll get like a discount off it if you were interested in it. And so it's 4 months of working on this return to self and 4 months of focusing on you. And that's obviously feeling secure, empowered, light, and free is the way of being that we're wanting to do. And we're wanting to move you from the liminal space to the luminal space. And so it's having that support as you go through this transformation. And so how it works is there'll be group sessions every fortnight, which a different theme and subject every time, where there'll be teaching, kinesiology, frequency, mind-body practices. There'll be the unlimited voice coaching that'll be through Telegram, so supporting you in that integration phase. And there'll be a whole bunch of self-balancing techniques and practices and tools that you can do in your own time. Because the key is that when you're moving through something, you have the support to help integrate in the in-between the sessions. And then there's an upgrade available for deeper work as well. So if you're noticing in the group sessions, if you want more support, you can put a little upgrade on there, and that will give you the one-to-one kinesiology and frequency sessions and weekly frequency that you'll receive. And the package, so the Return to Self 4-month package is $14.99. And so it's designed to move you through that 4-month journey from liminal to luminal. And you can decide to add in the kinesiology sessions, and they'll just work out to be $100 each. Normally they're $180 for those sessions, and you get the frequency for free every week. So I think it's about $800, but you get it for $400. And there's plenty of payment ways that you can do it: 4 weeks, 8 months, 4 months, or even 12-month plans. But I wanted to introduce this concept to you because I'm going to send it out to my email group probably next week. And essentially everything that we've kind of talked about over the 3 days will come into an actual program, and you'll be structurally moving through it. So obviously I do realize that the way that we've been working, there's a lot of information you've had to digest, and it's in a short amount of time. So there's different ways that you can move through it. And for me, this is how I really want to work through with people, is in programs where you can actually be guided and supported in a group and actually move through this in a way where you not only are navigating your stuff, but as you'll notice today, like see how many of the themes came up between people. And when you shared about something, you noticed how that also showed up in your life. Yeah, and so the early bird offer, which will be active for like 2 weeks or even longer if we need whatever you need, is like $250 off the main price. And then you can think about whether you would like to, if you wanted to do a group thing, like working like this each time, but there will be more kinesiology group in this because they'll be for longer sessions. They won't just be an hour. And then whether you want the upgrade for the 101. So if you have any questions around that, let me know, but there'll be some emails coming out over the next week or so, and I'll be talking to that as well. So you have a think about if there's any questions, if you want support through this process of returning to self. And yeah, there's absolutely no pressure for that, but I just wanted to introduce the concept for you because obviously that's how everything that I've navigated through, it's like condensing it into this 4 months and actually moving from that liminal space to luminal space.
Okay.
Oh, and does anyone have any questions from today, or do you want to share anything about what you've realized or what you're stepping into? I want sleep. So for the homework, I want you to, pick up the non-negotiables that you're going to focus on and then create those 3 empowering beliefs. So when you've done that, just email those through to me. And then I can work with each of you and we'll do some muscle testing back and forth if there's anything that we need to change or upgrade. But You work through what feels the best for you, and you want that to really light you up. Yeah.
I want to comment my sleeping intention.
Yes, go,
I
comment, talk.
think I shifted something which I don't feel, but it's been massive.
Mm.
And that actually drags me into that wide space to have some sleep.
Yeah.
And I
That's
can't resist
exactly.
that.
Yeah. Don't resist it. Sleep. When I have been through any of my big changes, Camilla, the sleep, allowing myself, and sorry, this is the sacred pause as well. Sleep. Allowing yourself to rest and actually take the time for yourself is the liminal space, moving, integrating everything that you've been doing, allowing your body to stop. And you'll notice if you start to integrate that, your body will change. It'll shift. So definitely giving yourself that sleep. What's one thing that anyone else that you're going to bring into your like way of being? What's one action that you're going to take? Right, and useful to clarify for what's happening. Awesome. Cool. Does anyone have any other questions or anything they want to say? You're going to do the sacred pause. Yeah, every day and more nature moments. Awesome. Cool. All right. So sorry I went a little bit over, guys. Nearly an hour and a half, but sacred pause for you too. Yes. And so Camilla, there was the book that Radical Acceptance as well. It talks, I'll send you some of the pages actually for the sacred pause. I'll send that to you so you can have a little read of it as well, because it talks about what it actually does in the body and how it benefits you. Yeah.
Just ordered that book.
Did you? Yay!
And Fish Pond, it was $33. Don't go through Paper Plus, they're
that's
too
cheap.
expensive. Yeah.
Good note. Fish Pond are really good in their fast delivery as well.
Yeah. Yes.
Cool. And what's one thing that you're going to do for yourself?
I just got to support myself and stop sort of self-sabotage.
Cool.
To just show up for myself.
Yeah, cool.
And do what I know I need to do and
yes.
want to enjoy myself.
Cool. So let's step into that courage and that action and taking that responsibility.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I've just been stuck, I suppose. In the minds, the mind and the body.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just to move forward.
Yeah.
It's quite exciting.
That is really exciting. Yay. Well, I'm so glad that you guys all joined me and we're here, and everyone on the replay. Thank you so much. Yes, I'll put the goal in writing. Yep. Absolutely. I'll send that to you, Camilla. So I'll send you, this email. I'll put the goal in the email as well. And you guys come back to me, especially online for the replays as well. Come back with your empowering beliefs and I can work with each of you on that, or just send them to me. Okay?
Okay.
Lots of love, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gina. Lots of love.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.